So I did the carnivore diet for 1 whole week and you guys said it wasn't long enough. So this time I went all in for 30 days and I have a lot to share. Before we dive straight into the 30 days, here's a little quick recap on what the carnivore diet is. It's the elimination of everything except animal-based foods, focusing on nutrient density and eliminating anything that can cause inflammation or digestive issues. Now, let's see what happens if I only eat meat, eggs, cheese, yogurt and milk for 30 days. Let's go. That's the first carnivore food shop of the year done. Day 1 carnivore starts tomorrow. Let's work out. 2025. First one this year, and since skate season started, my voice has just gone. First workout since the start of skate season, which was the 14th of November. So it's been a while. This is going to be a random workout just to not die. Carnivore meal numero uno. Just eggs. Day 1 dinner is cooking. We've got mince tonight with some eggs and some cheese, and then we're cooking lunch for tomorrow. How's day 1 gone?
Lovely.
Lovely. One thing we do want to incorporate into our routine this year is doing an ice bath more.
Oh shit, that's cold. That was really good.
I feel like I look really red, at least on camera. That's the first one done of a new routine.
New routine.
Fingers crossed it stays. Or we regret it after today and never do it again. So day 2 carnivore. Yesterday, totally fine. Like, as we've done it before, I don't think there's any shock to the system of like what we could eat, and it's day 1, there's nothing. I always think day 1 sometimes isn't necessarily the hardest. It's like, well, it's just different for the day. It's sort of as it gets longer and longer, that's probably when it's gonna get harder. Today, again, has been pretty okay. I got hungry quite a bit around midday, but it's the first day back at work as well today, so the body's sort of been hit like with 2 things at once, like a new diet, especially compared to the past like 2 weeks where it's been the holidays and we've eaten like utter rubbish. And then first day back at work again for 2 weeks, so the body's sort of just been bombarded with these 2 at the same time. But today overall has been like fine, it's been good. Yeah, so we're 2 days in, 28 more to go, I guess. Yeah.
You look so elegant doing it. No, I don't look like that.
Another day, another ice bath. Woo! Experimental dinner.
There's a bit in it.
And I call that experimental dinner a success. Chicken and chicken bone broth and water and a couple herbs. Like, really easy and actually really nice. That was good. And that is the first leg session of the year done. So we are now 6 days into carnivore, so I thought I'd give a little update as I haven't really given much of one. And that's kind of because everything's been going fine, kind of up until today, or at least for Dan at least. His energy levels just sort of dipped, probably because we just had a full week of work, workouts, and a new diet all in one go after 2 weeks of Christmas and holidays. So it's just one of these adaptations, but overall the diet's been going fine. We've already started to talk about other foods in which we should have just to keep the variety going, because obviously it's going to get a little bit boring and different foods are a bit drier than others, and just getting to grips with which ones we like and what's easier to have. Carnivore isn't meant for snacking, you're eating enough food anyway, so you don't need to snack. But for us at work, there's we tend to have fruit. That's what we eat because it's really quick and easy on the go. Whereas at the moment we're having mince and tuna, which obviously take a lot longer to eat and are a bit harder to consume. So that is definitely a little bit of a challenge when it comes to the diet. Check-in day is tomorrow and we will see how that goes. 7 days into carnivore, and this is the first proper check-in since getting back into a proper normal routine. And compared to last week, everything is looking great. We are 2.4 kilograms down. We are back to the pre-holiday season weight, which is fantastic. We are down 1.5% body fat, up 0.4% muscle, and my visceral fat has dropped back down and is now back at 3. So everything is literally going great. I'm very pleased with how I'm looking, especially doing this carnivore. Like we noticed last time, you don't really feel bloated at all. So it's very nice waking up and feeling really flat, especially compared to the 2 weeks of the holidays where you just feel like you're just constantly eating, wasn't ever actually hungry, and just felt like a fat pig. But it was nice, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the holidays and enjoyed eating. We had 4 Christmas dinners, basically 4 roast dinners. So yeah, I can't complain. I'm not gonna complain about that, but I'm glad that we are now basically pre-holiday weight. Looking at myself this morning and taking the check-in photos and videos, I am really happy. I am pleased. Obviously, I'm not yet at a point, you know, I don't expect to be this quickly to be like, oh my God, what a massive change. So I've now sort of hit what I was for maintenance weight or thereabouts. Like I say, the difference this time is we are including the dairy. So I think that's making it a bit easier. But it's potentially as well why I've not lost as much compared to when I did a week of carnivore previously. Week of carnivore previously, I lost probably about 1 kilo more, I think, somewhere around that. But the body fat didn't drop. So, you know, your body's going to react to different things at different times in different ways. So it's very interesting to know. But now becomes a fun part because we've done 7 days previously. I've done 7 days of carnivore before. So now everything moving forward, I've not actually done, which is kind of exciting to see what happens, because that's the one of the reasons why I wanted to do carnivore for 30 days is I saw what it did for a week and I was like, wow, like that's incredible. And we didn't necessarily maybe get the benefits. Okay, we lost some more weight and that was it. So now it's sort of going, well, if that can happen in a week, what's going to happen in 30 days? But let's roll on the next 23 days of carnivore. I mean, it might not be on brand for MollysADinosaur, but it's on brand for Molly. Dinner. Chicken liver. So, we're now 11 days into carnivore. Honestly, it's not going too bad. One thing I think I have noticed though is my sleep has gotten a bit better. Like I've slept all the way through. Now typically I'm someone that wakes up through the night, maybe once, maybe twice, not for particularly any reason. My skin isn't actually looking like too bad. Like I normally get like spots around here and they've cleared up quite a lot. Dan, however, is sort of the opposite. He seems to have come out a little bit and he never seems to come out in spots. He's also in a state now of he doesn't know how long he wants to do this for. It's putting stress onto his body, which it's not particularly ever had before. So it's very interesting to see the 2 ways our bodies are reacting, because I'm like pretty chill with it all and not finding it too hard, whereas he's like craving like to just eat loads of like fruit and veg and just a big meal. So just done legs, and that was an interesting session. Clearly my body is just going for a lot. Literally, I was doing squats and they were hurting because we were pushing the weights and stuff, and literally I just felt like I was gonna break down and cry. I don't know why, I felt completely fine. But obviously just everything running through my body. Obviously, 2nd week back at work, 2nd week at the gym, 2nd week on carnivore now. So I just imagine it's just massive build up. Otherwise, legs was good, they hurt now. So today's weigh-in, neither good nor bad I guess. Weight was down by 0.3, body fat was up 0.5, muscle was down 0.5, which isn't great. That's what annoys me, is the body composition has changed the wrong way. But obviously I have lost weight. Now I'm surprised not as much weight's lost this week, but at the same time I haven't felt like I've lost any weight this week. I don't know if I've eaten too many dairy or if it's the body adapting, and hopefully the coming 2 weeks it will react more. Maybe I've lost all the weight I'm potentially going to lose at the moment on carnivore, and hopefully it's going to be a body composition change that's going to happen. And that's what I'm hoping for, at least, is the body composition is going to change. But nothing is quick, and I do appreciate that, and I appreciate it's going to take a little bit of time. Given my comments last night while doing squats, my body's obviously gone through a lot this week, whether or not I've realised it. The shop looks a little bit different this week. Dan is having his last day of carnivore today, so he's having a bit of fruit and veg next week.
I've got a...
This is probably solely partly a lighting thing right now, but lighting definitely playing a key part in that, but yeah, that's pretty good. Whoa. I feel like it was only the other day that I said my skin was actually looking really good, though today, for some reason, like, I don't know if you can see it, but like up here, it's just like seemed to break out. Though I did have like a spot just under here the other day, and that's already kind of like cleared in like 2 days, so it's really like, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm literally just about to have the strangest breakfast in the world right now. So I'm making a yerba mate tea, fair play, whatever. And then, well, we only have this much yogurt left, like there's nothing in there. And then just some cheese. I'm sure it'll be fine, it'll be nice. It's just weird. I've just realised it's day 19 of carnivore, 11 days left. I was just about to sit down and edit an ice bath video, which is already out, so go ahead, check it out. And I realised I've not actually done like an update for a while. And I kind of feel bad because you've been seeing me eat, you've been seeing me train and all of that. And I've sort of left you in the dark of how I'm feeling and how it's going. But I think that's purely because it's going fine. Like, I mean, I talked the other day, I said, oh, my skin's been better, but I've noticed like I've got a spot come up here and up here. And that's a bit frustrating because it's like, well, it was really clear what's caused this. Now I think it's either like hormones, it's becoming that time of the month, but also from Christmas we got loads of different skincare products and all of that. And I'm very much used to using tallow on my face. I have been doing for like the past 6-7 months since my birthday last year. And there was a few, like again, Christmas, my skin surprisingly stayed clear despite eating a load of junk. And I think there's just one of these products that we got for Christmas, which I happened to use again the other day, and then the spots flared up, a bit similar to they did at the start of the year. So I imagine actually them spots could just be from that. This week so far has felt a little bit strange though. There's been times where I'm looking at myself and I'm going, wow, I'm seeing muscles that I haven't seen before, or I'm noticing that, okay, I don't necessarily feel as if I'm like losing weight, but I definitely can feel like I'm changing in body composition. But then again, at the same time, this morning I felt a little bit like blah. But this week, unfortunately, due to situations, we've not actually worked. And so them active calories that I'm normally getting through the day are just not happening. It is what it is. But like I say, it's going fine so far, 11 days left, and we'll just see how it goes. But again, I don't... 21 out of 30 for carnivore, and today's weigh-in, well, I don't know. I don't think I've done anything wrong, but like I've also said, we've not worked this week, and having an active job and not doing that obviously has had an impact on my body. So this week we're basically up the 0.3 we lost last week, so we're literally back at the same weight we were the week before. And then body fat has actually stayed exactly the same, and muscle has gone up by 0.1, which in a sense, that body composition isn't bad. But comparing that to when I was the same weight the week before, my body fat's up and my muscles down. Physically looking at myself, I thought I was getting better, other than on my face. Like, I appreciate weight may not be changing because I'm not eating in a deficit to lose weight per se, but I had the hopes that the body composition would be changing. Overall, I'm not feeling terrible. Sleep the past couple of days hasn't been great though. Otherwise, everything else seems okay. Strength in the gym is all going in the right direction. That's all going up and improving just how I want it. It just seems to be the scale that's sort of different, which is frustrating. It's just an experiment, and it's a good way to have been flushing out the body and detoxing the whole body since after Christmas. Like, we've got a whole duck. It feels like deja vu of lunch, just with a different type of meat. Rack in deep roasting tin. Well, we don't have a rack for the roasting tin, so that's okay. I have a packet of internal duck things.
Oh my god,
Well, that was inside the bird.
that's not.
That's his neck. As you might be able to tell, I've never cooked a whole bird before. We're doing that on the heart. I didn't necessarily say it was a bad taste of the heart. It doesn't taste weird. I'm gonna be honest. Just tastes like duck.
Bye.
No one way.
Bye, Daddy.
Tell I've never carved a bird before. Like. So, an update in terms of how are things going. Food-wise, carnivore is still going good. Though yesterday I came over a little bit like dizzy in the evening, and like my sleep is just still kind of being really terrible. But I think it's just my body adapting, and it's electrolytes potentially, even though I still take electrolytes, and I've definitely have them the past 2 days now. The electrolytes being slightly imbalanced, and cortisone levels and hormones and stuff kind of being a little bit screwing around. So I'm just hoping it kind of sorts itself out quickly. Day 28 of carnivore, and I've just done weighing. Quite honestly, I feel like, is it been worth it? But that is how I'm feeling right now. Is it worth this 30 days? Obviously I'm gonna last it out literally 3 more days. Like, I'm not gonna quit, but there's a definite feeling of, have I just wasted 30 days? Well, I don't even know. Body weight was up 0.7 kilos. Body fat was up 0.2, muscle was up 0.1, which isn't terrible. And then the one that confuses me the most and I'm annoyed about is the fact that my visceral fat's gone up. And I'm not one where my visceral fat doesn't fluctuate really. It stays pretty much at 3. Okay, I might tip up to 4 and then come back down, but even if I ate some crap food, it wouldn't really go up. And today it's gone up to 4. And it sort of is like, well, what have I done wrong? And it's annoying that my body composition just isn't changing and almost practically going the opposite way in which it should. Like, I appreciate I've not been eating to lose weight. I've also not been eating to gain weight. Fair enough if I gained weight and my body composition, my fat dropped and my muscle went up, like, I'd understand. But it's not doing that. And I mean, even checking photos, like, I just feel a bit podgy, I feel squishy. I don't feel tight, I don't feel lean, which is what I feel like I should be feeling like. At the same time, my sleep recently is not been great. The past 2 nights, I've not fallen asleep till 2 AM. Granted, the sleep that I've then had, the sleep has been fine, the sleep has been great, but I've not fallen asleep since 2. I've been laid in bed for 4 hours, not being able to sleep. Everybody speaks so highly of this, and don't get me wrong, I 100% agree with the benefits. But maybe it's just something that's not actually kind of working for me. Or again, I might have to, theoretically, if I wanted to do this longer, I would have to do it longer. You know, the first, doing it for a week, you know, that was fine, you know, de-bloats me and everything like that. But now I'm this far and I don't feel like that anymore. It feels different. I can't all be negative. I've got to remember positives, because everything in the gym right now is great. All the weight's going up, the strengths are going up, the reps are going up, you know, whatever. Everything in the gym itself is moving in the right direction. You know, I think it's a shame because probably what's also affected me, like especially the past 2 weeks, is we haven't worked. So I do a manual job, and this time of year is a bit crappy for when it comes to actually having work in or working. But yeah, so Monday is going to be the last carnivore day, and I'll do a final check-in Tuesday morning of what all carnivore results are. 30 days have been dead clean as anything, so I can't say I can't do it. But for today's check-in, I think that's it.
Double egg yolk.
Yeah, somehow we have just had a first double egg yolk, and God knows how many eggs we've bought.
Today's weird food combos. Tuna,
Why not?
egg, whisk it, scramble it.
It's the last day of carnivore today. I've just gotten out of a 3-minute long ice bath. Not too long, not too short, I suppose. And it'll be interesting to just see how the final last day goes with final check-in tomorrow. Now it's time to just go make some carnivore lunch. I say for the last time, but we'll probably eat something like this many times again. It wouldn't surprise me.
Last carnivore meal, eat it off the bone. Though it definitely won't be the last time that we eat these.
And just like that, it is time for the final check-in of carnivore. There you have it, 30 days of the carnivore diet done and dusted. And you might be sat there wondering, well, did I cheat? And the answer is no. I stuck completely to this diet for 30 days. That being said, this next point might be a little bit controversial. I seasoned my food. I still use salt and pepper and a few spices like garlic, cumin and basil, but I'd really kept these amounts to a minimum. And I will be honest, I did have some bacon a couple of times, and they did have preservatives in them, which isn't great, I know. It's also probably worth noting that the organic chicken bone broth that we got, even though being a liquid, the ingredients suggested that it could have been cooked originally with both carrot and onion. But I thought this was such a minute detail that it probably wouldn't actually matter. Obviously, like I say, this is going to be controversial and everybody's going to have their opinions onto how strict or unstrict I should have gone on this, but this is what worked for me for the 30 days. And comparatively, compared to when I did carnivore the first time around for 1 week, this time I actually included dairy, so I did have milk, cheese, as well as actually including the bone broth. Here's a quick recap of some of the benefits of carnivore. The carnivore diet can help improve your digestion, stabilize out your energy levels, reduce inflammation, control craving, and even help with certain health issues. If you do want to hear more about the benefits as well as what the diet is and where it comes from, I do highly recommend checking out my previous video where I tried carnivore for 1 week. And the moment you have all been waiting for, here is the side-by-side of the before and after of 30 days on carnivore. Day 0 versus day 31. And if you are interested in the stats, they are as followed. In terms of weight, I lost 2.9 kilograms. My body fat only dropped by 0.1%. My muscle dropped by 0.7%. And my visceral fat dropped by 1%. Obviously, after watching the whole 30 days experience, you've probably got a gist for how I feel already, but I wanted to give some closing and final thoughts on the diet, the experience, and what I think of the results. So the final check-in, the final check-in. Now, I was relieved when I did that final check-in compared to the check-in a few days prior. The weight had gone down, my visceral fat had gone down. Okay, the body composition has not done what I wanted it to do. If anything, it has done the opposite, and I'm actually technically in a worse place now than I was when I started. What's frustrating about that though is because I don't necessarily feel like that. You know, I look at myself in the mirror and I compare these before and after photos, and honestly, I see the difference and I see the change. I am disappointed because quote unquote it's not as drastic as I would have liked, but at the same time, progress and real progress actually takes time. There's never gonna be a quick fix or a quick solution, and I appreciate that, and that is kind of what this has done. I also appreciate a lot of people are gonna say, well, just keep on doing it. Everybody hits these points where they'll slightly gain and then you have to get through that and push on through. For me personally, this isn't gonna be a sustainable way of living. I just know it, and it's not something I necessarily want to do. That doesn't mean I'm now gonna go ahead and eat a load of junk food, because that is also not me. I eat a whole food based diet and that is what I'm going to stick to. So overall I found the eating of this diet completely fine. I didn't find it hard to eat. I wasn't tracking anything and I ate when I was hungry, what I wanted, and sometimes I potentially ate even if I wasn't necessarily hungry, which we all know isn't great, but we do anyway. I will say the only challenge when this came into play, because I couldn't just go and eat whatever I wanted, it had to be, you know, meat or dairy. It meant that it sort of limited a few options. We couldn't say have gone out to go for a meal, or we've gone around someone's house and they're offering around cakes and biscuits. Okay, I might not have one anyways, but the option was completely eliminated, and there is a sense of it sort of alienates you a little bit. But for the 30 days, this wasn't a problem, and you know, if you really need to stick to this diet or do this diet for certain health benefits, inconveniences like this will outweigh the overall health benefits for you. Personally, for me, I wouldn't necessarily say I've actually really experienced many benefits. Okay, that first week, definitely the bloating was gone, but by the time I got further into this, I hadn't really noticed any change. That, or I just got used to being de-bloated. Annoyingly, I had problems with sleep. Now, it wasn't necessarily the sleep I had, because that was great. It was actually the whole falling asleep and actually getting to sleep in the first place. I will say in terms of skin, it has been pretty much clear the whole time, so that is great. I had a few problems with a few breakouts, but I think that was actually down to skincare products and not to do with the diet. For me personally, I didn't really experience any changes of mental clarity or energy, which I think for me, that's fine. I don't think I have a problem with them anyway, so they're not being a change I wouldn't necessarily frown upon. It didn't get worse, and so I don't think necessarily there's anything wrong with that. I will say what I am glad about is I've done this 30 days and it has given my whole internal system a nice flush out and a detox. Not that I have any way of measuring that myself, and I can only hope that that is what happened, but I do hope that that is the case, because before doing this 30 days, it was Christmas, it was the holidays, and I can tell you now, I didn't eat very well during that period of time. And so it's probably exactly what my body needed to reset it for the whole year. And there you have it. And I know it was long, but that was my full 30-day experience on the carnivore diet. And if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and a subscribe. And let me know in the comments below if you're on the carnivore diet, if you've tried it, or even if you're just thinking about doing it. What are your thoughts about it all? Like always, remember to join the Dino Squad, and I'll see you next time. Bye.